stepmom was the same way. Would be dancing around. I have pictures. I have a picture of my late mother, and of this one shot somebody took of her dancing with my son standing next to her and this some unknown girl, but she's just dancing around. It's so cute. I love it.
But see, the proud mother.
Oh, big time.
But see, the funny thing is,
I love RATT.
But the funny thing is, when you were growing up and a little kid, just like me, like my sister was the straight A student. She was the one that could do no wrong. And I always thought my mother, dug my sister way more than me. And I was like the black sheep of the family. Just like, I don't know if that's how you were, but you were probably the trouble. I read you were the troublemaker.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, come on, spit it out.
Well, my sister did her share of getting in trouble too.
Yeah, well, but I know I wasn't the troublemaker. I just wasn't the straight A student like my sister. And
look at you now.
Well, yeah, look at me now. So, I don't know. I'm still not the straight A student.
No, you're not.
Thank God for spelling checkers and computers.
Yes, thank God.
So, Bobby, there anything else you want to talk about? I know you got to go to the dentist at 2 o'clock.
I do, actually. I got to get a haircut today.
Yeah. That's cool.
Get it, dentist, haircut, never mind.
That's it. Hey folks, we're back at the Zloz Hour with Neil Zloz Hour, Sandy Martin, and my special guest, Mr. Bobby Blotzer of RATT fame. And Bobby, we've been sitting here talking about your book and your little Jason Bonham, Brian Tichy thing you're going to do that's a tribute to John Bonham in a few days. And anything else you want to talk about? Yes, you had a question, darling.
I have a question. We were talking when we had a little break. Of all the people that you've met, of all your different experiences, which one was most overwhelming for you? As far as maybe back to when you first started, maybe meeting someone that just was overwhelming that you were influenced by, or special moment on stage, or...
I'll give you a great one. Well, earlier I'd mentioned the Keith Richards thing, which was amazing because that particular night, Dorothea and John and my ex-wife Jenny and I went out. I picked up John and Dorothea at their hotel, and it was Keith Richards' solo at the Whiskey A Go Go, his listening party for the Cheap Winos. We did that solo record, so we went there. They had a table for us, and they were just playing the record over and over, and he was kind of milling about, with all this security flanking him. And then he went upstairs into the dressing room, and a few minutes later, Fred Saunders came down and said, "Hey, they want you to come up and meet Keith." And I'm sitting there like, let's go. I'm a major Stones fanatic and Beatles fanatic from my childhood. But so we sat there. He went up and came back down. He's like, "Oh, that was unreal. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah." So then, I don't know, about a half hour, 45 minutes later, Keith departs the building flanked by security, and he leaves. And then after that, I was sitting and John and Dorothea took off as well. So we stayed there, and I was with Phil Soussan, who was Ozzy's bass player, Krieger, my friend Krieger.
How's Phil doing?
Phil's great.
Good.
Just got married.
Krieger, how's Krieger doing?
Wow.
Krieger's the man.
Krieger is Krieger.
We love Krieger. But we were sitting on the staircase that goes back to the dressing rooms upstairs at the Whiskey. And there's a door right here that leads out into the venue.
Right.
And all of a sudden the door opens, and Keith by himself, now mind you, earlier he had 5, 6 security guys wherever he was walking, he's in the middle of that. And he just walks through the door. And we're sitting there, and we look at each other like, "Are you shitting me?" And we're like, "Hey, what's going on, Keith?" He's all, "Oh, God." He's got the typical cigarette. He's all, "I thought I gave this place up in '63, right?" And he's all, "Here I am back again." And so we're starting to talk to him. And we're talking a little, I don't even remember what we were saying, but he's all, "You want to come up?" He points at me and he goes, "You want to come up and have a drink?" And I'm like, "Let's go."
Absolutely.
And we went up in the dressing room and sat on chairs sort of like this, and he had a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we passed it back and forth, and I was asking him questions about, different, like Exile on Main Street, my favorite Stones record.
Great record, 72.
It was amazing. I was asking about Charlie Watts, and he was telling me these stories about Charlie and his love for cars. He buys all these cars and never drives them, puts them in the garage, and he goes in and sits in there and just turns the key on.
Goes in there and sort of jerks.
I hope not, but whatever floats his boat. I mean, it was an amazing story. But in 87, we had Cheap Trick and Poison touring with us, and Joan Jett was added to the bill when Cheap Trick was off for about 3 weeks. And we were playing in Kansas City, and the next night Billy Joel was playing there. Oh. And the guys, Billy Joel and his band, came to our gig, and my son was out. Both of my sons. It was my son Michael's 4th birthday, and while we were playing, I looked to the side of the stage, and I see Michael sitting on Billy Joel's shoulders. Billy Joel's like rocking with my kid on it. I was like going,
What
am I hallucinating?
Mr. Piano
That's
Man.
amazing.
I mean, well, just he's a legend. And,
Yeah. Oh, of
so
course.
that's sort of one of my.
That's cool. The Keith one's great. I mean, when I was growing up, the Rolling Stones could do no wrong. I mean, they were just the thing, you know.
Well, the
Actually,
songs-
you were saying McCartney, you were a big fan of his.
Yes.
Isn't he playing the tribute on the...
Abe Laboriel Jr., Paul's drummer, is playing, and he was a
okay.
great guy. And actually, my ex-drum tech, Paul Davies, is his drum tech and has been for years. I've seen the McCartney tour probably 5 times.
Did you see him over at the Hollywood Bowl?
I didn't. I was
played?
out of town on that one. And you know what? I've never been to a Hollywood Bowl show, which is really
You
odd.
have to go.
Well,
So I think I'm going
I
to
went
see
with
Tom
you.
Petty there in October.
well, you know what? The first show I ever saw at the Hollywood Bowl was Jimi Hendrix Experience,
you imagine?
1968.
Neil is
hate
now
it.
aged about 25
I'm
years.
90 years old. I got a good plastic surgeon.
Bill and I
Please.
went to
A
see...
lot of shoe polish here.
We went to see Jet and Oasis there, but if you go, you
Oh,
can
that-
take your own wine, bottle, food, like...
It's really nice atmosphere.
beautiful.
Well, I don't drink, so
Yeah.
You can take
I don't drink
water,
either.
Coke.
You don't stop drinking.
Thanks for reminding me,
You
Chucky.
can take food.
That's what I
Yeah.
hear. Yeah, you get the box.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you get
Yeah.
the picnic baskets.
Well, I've seen. I did get through my drum tech Paul when I was in Houston, living in Houston. He took me up on the production, so I got to sit at Paul's piano, sit behind Abe's kit, play his kit, which I know it sounds stupid, but I was tripping out sitting at Paul McCartney's piano. I mean, I didn't sniff the seat or anything. but
Okay,
I
that's
thought-
good.
I thought about
That's
it.
good to
I swear
hear,
to God,
Bobby.
I thought about it.
You did.
I have a picture.
You didn't sniff the seat, but I bet she would.
I mean, why would she? It's Paul McCartney.
Yeah, I mean the Beatles. I mean,
Yeah, you
best
can't
who
get no
started
better
the
than
world
that.
of rock and roll? I mean, if you bypass Little Richard and Chuck Berry and those people.
Well, I think any of those artists will agree that the elevator doesn't go any higher than
the Beatles. Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? It's funny because I listen to Beatles all the time. I got some amazing bootleg Beatles stuff that's unobtainable, no matter even if you're a multi-billionaire, which Bobby is.
Yes.
But
I
anyway.
didn't have parking meter money. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah. Chucky is our parking meter money guy. That's his main job in life, to feed the parking meters on the Zloz Hour.
I'll tell you what, you guys. One thing that anybody that is fortunate enough to shoot with Neil comes here, and he's over here to my left. You guys can't see, but there's, I don't know, it looks like 35 file cabinets this high, just
Files
full of every artist known that he shoots, and he's truly one of the greatest photographers in not in the
history.
business, but in history. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to just go through and look at these pictures. I mean, the walls are adorned with them, and
I don't even think you
it's a-
could take
it's a
3
trip.
days to go through them all.
3
No,
days. It would
it's
take
crazy.
3 lifetimes.
Yeah, I mean, one day I was here all day just looking, and the stuff that he has. But it's kind of funny when you see like Andy Gibb and, Dick Clark. Like, I didn't have any clue that he kind of shot pop artists, and
I didn't know about the Dick
Leif
Clark thing.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Leif Garrett, of course, he would do, because Leif, doesn't he have a bad alcohol drug problem like you?
Hey, wait. Wait a second. Hold on.
I like
Like
it.
David Lee Roth. Wait. Like
Why
David.
wouldn't he be
That's
shooting
good.
him, right?
Hold on. Like David Lee Roth says.
Another one.
Oh shit. Get that for a second. This is good. Hold on, because we got to break it. Ask who it is, and I'll call him back.
And you can tell how long the studio's been here by how old the ring is on the phone.
Oh, how loud.
Listen,
Hi, who
we
is
haven't had
that?
ringers like that since Leave It to Beaver was on.
We're
Jackie.
filming. What you want? Drug and all. Yeah. Well, like David Lee Roth says, I used to have a drug problem. Now I can afford them. So it's not a problem anymore.
He's another one in your club. He got busted in a park in New York.
Yeah,
didn't
for
he?
buying like $5 worth of shit weed or something like
Hey,
that.
I don't make the laws, I just break them.
Well, I try to break a few too, so every day. So, hey, Bobby, on that note, I want to say it was great having you here.
I have one more question.
Okay, what, Sandy?
One more question. Any advice for new bands?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do not
Exactly.
do it.
Besides,
Go to school. No.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean, I would say that in all honesty, definitely have something to fall back on. It's a
and
it's
it's
a lot
so much
harder
worse
now.
today and a lot harder.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot
any
harder. My
positive-
my son's a drummer, and he's a great drummer, Michael, and he texts for me on tour right now, and you know, he's not got his break like so many other great artists throughout the years. And you know, the good thing about having him out on tour, not only having my son out there teching for me and he's making good money, but he gets to play. I don't have to do sound checks anymore.
Right.
Oh,
And he gets to
great.
play in the
Yeah.
venues and the larger venues that we're
Does
blessed,
he find
blessed
that
to play.
other people aren't as dedicated? Because I know that people just think things are going to happen. It's a different generation. And does he find it hard to stick other people sticking in bands together?
I think he's got a problem with dedication. He dedicates himself to one band, and which is a good thing, but
Right.
it's sort of like you got to keep your options open and keep stepping and stepping stone,
Right.
stepping stone. But just keep writing. I would tell people just keep writing and don't self-publish your publishing, and
Exactly.
best of luck to everybody. I mean,
It's a tough business out there these days.
Good
It sure
advice, though.
changed,
Good advice. People are always asking for it.
I mean, it's fun. There's downsides. I mean, touring is still great because you get to get up and play and do what you love, and people love you for doing it. But then there's a lot of hours of boredom out there. I mean, that's the downside for me.
Yeah.
So
I know what I'd be doing on the boredom.
dude, you can be bored, you can be fun. It doesn't matter.
I hope the TV set's got a remote control too,
And spectral vision is always.
Sphincter vision? Yeah, I call it sphincter vision always works in, but that's usually better in the nighttime when the sun goes down. So anyway, Bobby, thanks,
Thanks,
brother.
Bobby.
It was great having you. Thanks for coming.
Great Zloz.
Don't suffer too much
Thank
pain
you.
at the
Thanks,
dentist.
darling.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Cheers.
stop.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Awesome show. And we'll catch you soon.
Yeah, we'll catch you soon.
We'll catch you soon.